am calling or reconvening the Board of Education regular meeting September 25th, 6 p.m. Sorry, we are a few minutes late. So welcome everyone. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Mr. Hammer, please lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So our president, Ms. Kowalski, is not here tonight. She had a family emergency, so I am filling in as the clerk. So, do my best. So, 5, public hearing. So 5.1, public hearing on the 2018-19 sufficiency of textbooks and instructional materials for Ed Code 60119.
So moved.
So, second. All in favor?
Discussion.
Oh, any discussion?
Just asking.
I'm open for public comment on the public hearing regarding the sufficiency of the textbooks. Do we have any comments? Anyone would like to speak on that issue? So, closing the public hearing? And then any discussion? Mr. DeGraw, would you mind just?
Well, that comes up later.
Oh, for
Discussion, so-
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. 6, adoption and approval of the agenda.
What are we supposed to do? Vote on that too?
No, we'll vote on it later.
No, it's just the public
Yeah,
hearing.
just we'll go back for a vote.
Adoption and approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of the minutes, 7.1, approval of the minutes of August 21st, 2018. So we had an issue last time we were here, so I think 3 of us were here on August 21st.
Yeah, I
So
wasn't.
moved.
You were-
I was not.
I was here.
21st. you were.
Yeah, I was here on the 11th.
Wait, you said August 21st?
August 21st.
Oh, I can't take that back. It's not- I don't know you're gonna get it done because Frank and I weren't here.
We're gonna have to table that one.
Table that one for next meeting.
Okay, so let's put that up. We did not have
7.1.
Quorum.
a quorum at the last meeting or this meeting, so we'll put that off.
For that particular purpose.
Right. 7.2, approval of the minutes of September 11th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
You were not here.
No, I was not.
So all in favor?
Aye.
8, special recognitions, reports, and presentations. 8.1, students of the month for September 2018. Always very exciting. So thank you all for being here tonight. And we are going to have Trustee Badley is going to lead us in our students of the month.
So we have representatives from Kenilworth, Petaluma, Casa, Petaluma High School. I'll go with the junior high schools first. So from Kenilworth Junior High School, the student of the month for September would be Andrew, and I hope I say your name right, Prestea. Is that close?
You're going to have the Kenilworth speaker come up.
The Kenilworth speaker. Who's the, you're going to have to give us your name.
Hi, I'm Grace Keitel.
Okay, you go ahead and introduce him. You probably could say his name better.
Kenilworth Junior High School is proud to introduce our September Student of the Month, Andrew Prosetia. Andrew has been chosen Student of the Month by his team of teachers because he is both an outstanding young scholar and citizen. Andrew maintained a 4.0 GPA as a 7th grader in one of Kenilworth's most challenging schedule of classes. More impressive yet, Andrew is now enrolled in Honors Math 2 at Casa Grande High School and earned an A for the first grading period. Mrs. Bradley, Andrew's advanced English and design lab instructor, was eager to sing Andrew's praise. Andrew is a curious student who brings a sense of humor and keen insight into his work in both design lab and advanced English. Currently learning to write computer programs, Andrew shows perseverance and motivation by working through tutorials on his own while also offering his expertise to other students who enjoy learning from him. Mr. Gerke, who was Andrew's accelerated math teacher in 7th grade, enthusiastically added that Andrew is one of the most intelligent, determined, and focused students I have encountered. He takes his schoolwork seriously, but also really enjoys being a student. As a student, Andrew has a bright future. Andrew noted that one of his proudest achievements came in 6th grade when he came in 3rd place in the state spelling bee, which included 2 participants from each of California's 58 counties. Outside of school, Andrew has been a proud member of the Sonoma County Astronomy Society since 1st grade. In his free time, Andrew also enjoys playing tennis and would like to play for Casa Grande's tennis team in high school. After high school, Andrew would like to attend Harvard or a UC and pursue a career in law or something in the tech industry. Andrew's mom added that Andrew is persistent. He gets done what he puts his mind to. We are very proud of him. Congratulations, Andrew.
Picture of that, Andrew at the camera.
There you go. Big smile. Good job. The protocol, that was on me, not her, because she's new to this, is when they call up the student, we'll bring them up, and then they can stand here the whole time and be recognized. But that was on me, sorry. I should have called you up when she stood up here. So you have another one. And I wanted, before one second, I want to do the parents. I would like to ask the parents to please stand up. Andrew's parents, do you have somebody here, Andrew? We know what a big role you all play in this. So congratulations. Good job. Okay, you want to call your second student up?
Kenilworth Junior High is proud to introduce our September Student of the Month, Whitney White.
You can step up and she's go there. There we go. You can look right there. That's why I don't choreograph dances. I mean, you can look right in there. Yeah.
Whitney has been chosen Student of the Month by her team of teachers because she is truly one of Kenilworth's most outstanding, positive, and personable students. Cooperative, mature, responsible, and a role model for her peers are just a few of the superlatives Whitney's teachers used to describe her. Mrs. Bradley, Whitney's advanced English teacher, was enthusiastic in her praise of Whitney. According to Mrs. Bradley, Whitney has distinguished herself early in the year with writing that is thoughtful, detailed, and clear. Mr. Quintua, who also had Whitney as a 7th grade student in his world history class, added, "Whitney continues to turn in fantastic work. Whitney is very dependable and she can be trusted to carry out any task I ask of her." Not only is Whitney a 4.0 student, but she is also an accomplished dancer. Whitney has been dancing with Studio C for 5 years, performing a variety of styles, including tap, jazz, and acrobatic. One of Whitney's proudest achievements was winning the Science Olympiad in 6th grade. Whitney's penny barge boat design set a record for carrying the most pennies without sinking. After high school, Whitney would like to keep dancing and attend either Stanford or Harvard University and pursue degrees in a career in veterinary medicine. Whitney's parents, Mitch and Deidre, share that Whitney is very ambitious and very driven. We are very proud of her. We at Kenilworth are also very proud of Whitney. Congratulations, Whitney.
Whitney's parents, if you're here, please stand up. Okay, now we'd like to ask the Petaluma Junior High School representative to come up and introduce your students for September. And just state your name.
I'm Ava Staub, and I'm in 8th grade.
I'm Jordan Beardsley, and I'm in 7th grade.
Okay.
Petaluma Junior High School is pleased to present Miles Paisley as one of our September 2018 Students of the Month.
Stand right and look at that camera where they say nice things about you, hopefully.
Miles was born on March 31st, 2005 in Santa Rosa. He's an excellent student, an avid baseball enthusiast, a long-distance runner, and an all-around responsible and caring young man. This year, he's on the cross-country running team. One of Miles' goals is to have a successful educational experience. He plans on earning good grades, A's, and preparing himself for the eventual job in the sports world. His teachers have a lot to add. His science teacher said Miles is outgoing, helpful when other students need it, and volunteers to do what is needed. Miles is an example of hard work and a positive attitude. In English, Miles was a pleasure to have in class, respectful, sparkling, and warm smile. Got along with others, well liked by peers. He was an all-around, well-balanced student. And his math teacher says, Miles is always willing to help out a classmate, extremely responsible and unfailingly polite. He asks great questions and is willing to share his ideas. Outside of school, Miles' biggest passion is baseball. Additionally, one of his favorite memories is going on a class field trip to the Alma Maritime National Park. He loved exploring the ship and being in San Francisco. His parents add, "We're so proud of Miles and are so grateful that PJHS and Petaluma City Schools recognize Miles' unique qualities and talents, including his perseverance, patience, and good citizenship." Miles Paisley is a wonderful example for Petaluma Junior High. We're proud to have him represent us for Student of the Month Award.
Miles' parents, if you please stand.
Petaluma Junior High School is pleased to present Zoe Gagemore as one of our September 2018 Students of the Month. Zoe was born in Santa Rosa on August 13, 2005. As a junior high school student, Zoe is a dedicated academician, a competitive athlete, a performing artist, and an enthusiastic, friendly, and organized young woman. Her transcript shows all A's in rigorous classes. Her goal is to continue to do well in school, making room for a bright and successful future. Her teachers have a lot to say about Zoe, including her PE teacher who says Zoe is always respectful and attentive. Also, every single day when she leaves class, she goes out of her way to say thank you on her way out the door. In leadership, Zoe is a quiet but reassuring presence. She doesn't say much in class, but I'm always aware that she is listening closely and gives me nonverbal feedback that she gets what I'm talking about. She is very responsible and polite in leadership, always on task, and respectful of her classmates and me. In science, Zoe is amazing and so very deserving of this honor. She puts thought, care, and quality into everything she does. I have kept a few of her assignments to use as examples of A++ work for my next set of students. She is caring and inclusive and kind, everything a star bantam should be. Every day, Zoe enters my classroom with a smile and hello and exits with a smile and thank you. Our girl is also a mover and shaker around the campus, both on and off campus. This year, Zoe was selected for leadership. Last year, she was nominated by her teachers for the esteemed Overall Excellence Award. She participates in regional Irish dancing competitions and plays spring softball for a local league. As an elementary school student, Zoe participated in Girls on the Run and performed community service. And she loves to ski. Her parents add, Zoe is a kind, caring person. She always has a smile and will be there to help a friend. She is fun and loving, self-motivated, and dedicated. We are incredibly proud of her, not only as an excellent student, her excellent grades, and great attitude towards the school, but even more so, the incredible person she is. Zoe Gatemore is a model student and an excellent representative for Petaluma Junior High School. We proudly put her forward for the September Student of the Month Award.
Zoe, your parents and family are here. Now I'd like to invite the Casa Grande High School representative up, or representatives.
We just came from a PJ night at Casa's varsity and JV girls volleyball game, so we are not as prepared as normal, but we will manage. Casa Grande High School would like to.
You want to talk to them?
Casa Grande High School would like to introduce Kevin Cadle as the Student of the Month for September 2018.
No, you can look where you want.
Kevin Cable is a senior who has taken an interest in strengthening himself in every direction on a daily basis. Since freshman year, Kevin has been enrolled in multiple honors or AP classes, adding more challenging courses each year. Kevin has achieved his highest GPA last year with a 4.83, and he is shooting for a 5.0 as a senior. In conjunction with the rigorous course load since starting high school, Kevin is preparing to play varsity basketball for the second season, meaning he has participated in basketball every year of high school. Also in the spring, Kevin will compete at the varsity level for swimming for the 4th consecutive season after going out for the team as a freshman without any previous competitive experience, with high hopes of placing in the top heats for each of his events for the fourth season. Kevin has also dedicated time to volunteering with multiple organizations, working frequently with American Cancer Society through Relay for Life. He was amounted nearly 150 hours and thousands of dollars raised for cancer research. He has also spent time at Cypress School assisting with children with autism, as well as at Boost Camp over the past summer, working with the focus of strengthening children with cerebral palsy. With a love for numbers, Kevin has a desire to attend University of California, Los Angeles in 2019 after completing high school, where he will pursue a degree in mechanical engineering. Congratulations, Kevin.
Kevin's family? And now last but not least, the Petaluma High School representative or representatives.
So unfortunately, I didn't bring mine. So Petaluma High School is honored to present Ben Vandermeer as our Okay. Ben Vandermeer is a 17-year-old Petaluma High School senior. He makes movies, writes plays, has a radio show every Sunday from 4 to 5 called The Vander Mix on KPCA 103.3 FM. He likes bad movies, sparkling water, gangster rap, G-funk, and stand-up comedy. He sees Ferris Bueller's Day Off 11 times. He once got Jason Siegel's personal email address. He can edit a video for ASB in under an hour and a half, and it's a pretty good video, so I can tell you guys that. He was one of the founding members of his school's live morning announcement program, Trojan Live. He also has at least 3 projects happening at once, and he cares deeply about all of them. For example, right now he is actually working on publishing a book of his own monologues and duo scenes, which should be out by the end of the year. Alternatively, next week, Ben is actually going down to Los Angeles for a day to attend the Kapow Intergalactic Film Festival, where one of his movies will be featured. In the future, he wants to go to CSU Long Beach and pursue a career in film and television with a possible minor in journalism, and will be applying for an internship at A24 Studios in Los Angeles in the spring. He is very grateful for this opportunity.
Ben's family, please stand. Good job, one and all, and congratulations to the September Students of the Month.
Okay. So thank you all for being here. This is always the highlight of our monthly meetings, our bi-monthly meetings. You students have done amazing things. Thank you to all the families and support in you, getting you through all of these difficult times and exciting times. Friends and families, obviously your teachers, custodians, secretaries have all supported you and gotten you here. So we really appreciate all of your hard work, and good luck in your future, your seniors. We're going to take a short break so that you families and students can get on your way, and then we will resume. So you're all welcome to stay, but you're also welcome to leave. We'll take about a 2-minute break. Thank you. Way to go, Miles! Way to go! Yeah, right.
Just thank your fingers.
Congratulations.
Good to see you. You're welcome down there anytime.
That was good.
So no waiting room. No, it's fine. Yeah. You have more important things to do.
All right, Phoebes.
Okay. Okay, now calling back.
Wait for Francis. Does he think he's running or something? He's not even. Yes, I just.
Why are you telling me these people to speak to the crowd? Where's Mr. Lynn?
I wonder this could be done.
I think he's up No comment, Michelle, no comment, no comment.
I see you. The first one I just called the kid out. I know.
Mr. Lynn,
Congratulations, your son sounds delightful. Very talented.
He's super talented. Okay, let's hustle, Mr. Lynn. Okay, we are reconvening our meeting. Moving on to 8.2, introduction of new assistant principal at Petaluma High School. Mr. Harris.
Thank you very much. Come on up here. So we'll face you guys this time. So I'm very pleased to have the privilege to announce the selection of our new assistant principal at Petaluma High School, Kelly O'Neill Chris. Kelly started her duties on September 1st. Kelly has served as the assistant principal of both Paradise High School and most recently Paradise Intermediate School since March of 2016. During her tenure in the Paradise Unified School District, Kelly worked with a diverse group of stakeholders to facilitate change and improve learning for all students. Kelly oversaw the counseling department, the school safety plan, student leadership, and link crew. Also, Kelly oversaw the SARB committee and facilitated SST, 504, and IEP meetings. Kelly's ability to build positive relationships with students, parents, and staff made her highly effective in her role as a site administrator. Prior to becoming an administrator, Kelly was a teacher for 15 years. During that time, Kelly served as art department chairperson for more than 7 years, taught AP classes, coached girls varsity soccer, was honored as Teacher of the Year, and voted most spirited staff member. Kelly was awarded her bachelor's degree in art and art history from Western Washington University. She received her master's of business administration from Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo, and her teacher credentials from Cal State University Bakersfield and Cal State University Chico. Kelly earned her administrative services credential from UC Irvine. So yes, I don't know how many more times I can say this, but she left Paradise and she's found it here.
Welcome to Paradise.
Kelly is joined here by her daughter Lorelai, this wall here is full up with all of our students of the month, and I'm sure that Lorelai will be up here before too long. So with that, welcome Kelly.
Thank you.
Well, welcome, Mary. We welcome you here, and we've heard great things about Petaluma High with you on campus.
Thank you.
And your daughter's 8th grader, right, at Petaluma Junior High?
Actually, she's not there anymore.
Oh.
She is at my husband's school as a freshman now.
Oh.
They bumped her up, and so she's at Hearthstone, and she bounced back and forth between the two of us because it's an online school.
Oh,
So
okay.
because my husband's still in Chico, it's better for us.
Yes.
So her name won't be up on that.
Okay.
Oh, did you hear that? She said it will later.
That's
There we
right.
go.
Yeah. Well, welcome both of you, all of your family. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. 9, 9, comments from the public? No speaker cards? All right. Okay, 10. Right. 10, report on activities and correspondence of school board. So we had visits to Carpe Diem back to school night, back to school night at Valley Oaks, back to school night at San Antonio High School, which I think were all great and lots of good stuff going on at all those sites.
Oh, yeah.
A McNair School site visit, Crossroads, San Antonio, and Valley Oaks site visit, Grant School site visit, meeting with Grant PTA. So, yes, been lots of activity on the campuses. I know a lot of administrators have been out and about as well, visiting all the schools as we're getting back in action here. So, school year's off to a great start. 6 weeks in, right? 6 weeks progress report was last week. So it's hard to believe. Okay. 11, approval of consent agenda by consolidated motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so moving down. Does that work? I go to action items?
12, yeah.
12. Action items. 12.1, administration, human resources. 12.1.1, district intern credential request for Brian Friedman to teach social studies classes grades 7 and 8 for the 2018-19 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Is it just, Mr. Harris, just typical for teachers? And so he's teaching up there now?
Correct.
Right, gotcha. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 12.1.2, resolution for the resolution 1819-08 of the Board of Education of the Petaluma City Elementary and Joint Union High School Districts, honoring the contributions of administrators to quality education and declaring the week of October 8th through the 12th, 2018 as the week of the school administrator.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we have any big plans, Mr. Callahan?
Well, I'm just writing down some notes on that one. We will make a point of doing a road show and personally thanking all of our folks for their work.
Let us know.
Wonderful. Thank you to our administrators. 12.1.3, School of Nursing Agreement with California State University, Fresno, effective September 2018 through June 30th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's great.
That is great.
So does this mean that there'll be nurses on campus? I mean, what is this? Can you explain it to me?
Yeah, this provides us an additional opportunities to take in folks for training and to allow them to win-win. We get the services, they help
And
get
it's
their
like
credentials.
an unpaid internship, I'm not paid.
I'm not aware, I'm not sure about that, goes as far as if it's any, do you know about that?
I don't think I think it's unpaid. I've seen, we've had several interns coming through 1 day a week. They've been shadowing some of our district nurses through the district and going out to different sites.
There is a vehicle that someone could get paid, but there has to be certain conditions that they have to meet.
And
I'm not sure if this nursing agreement has a true internship component to it.
And do they need to get hours before they can be certified as a school nurse? Is that what it is?
You have to log hours.
And for the market around this, there is a shortage of nurses statewide.
Okay.
So there's always a plethora of different places that they can choose to intern. It's a little bit different challenge for our mental health interns and our teaching interns, which becomes a different story.
Yeah, and the MOU says there shall be no monetary obligation on the institution or the agency, one or the other.
Definitely is one.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Business service, 12.2, business services, 12.2.1, purchase orders.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion, questions?
No.
I noticed, Chris, a lot of special education, sort of special placement
Most of these, you'll
beginning of the
see
school year.
they're significant dollar amounts, and most of them are non-public agency,
Right.
non-public schools, so we have about 36 students in non-public schools.
And you sort of do at beginning of the school year payment, and that's how it works.
So they work through SCO to put it into the SAFES, or I think it's the SAFE system. But yeah, so we are reconciling all those contracts, and special services goes through and processes the purchase orders, so yeah.
And then I did notice another one, sorry, maintenance, it was the turf at Casa Grande, was it, I don't know, $6,000 a payment, is that like an annual fee to get the?
So, yes, I know it's a great question. So what we're doing is trying to make sure that we're maintaining our new synthetic track fields. And so we have hired the vendor who actually does maintenance on them 2, 3, 4 times a year.
Oh.
So, yeah, we want to maintain them because we've invested a significant amount of money, yes.
Chris,
Things like adding infill and
Sure.
fluffing them up and, getting rid of weeds and everything.
Does
Fluffing
it-
them is a technical term.
And does it happen after the fall sports season or during or?
It'll happen 2 or 3 times a year, like we would want to do it just before school starts. In summer, we would want to do it after different types of sports, when there's more activity on it, they need to be fluffed.
So that the infill helps the blades stand up, and over time they wear down and they bend, and then they're susceptible to breaking, so
Oh, got it.
There
they
goes
come
the
and
fluffing.
they kind of break it with the machine and it
Fluff and
evens
stuff.
out.
Got it.
It's really cool.
It's kind of like if you think about bark underneath the play structure, and the kids come down the slides and it moves the bark, and you have to rake the bark back into place to make sure you've got adequate fall zone coverage. It's very similar with the field turf. You want, if kids are playing in the middle, it tends to push the cork out to the sides, and so you want to push it back. But there's other rationale behind it. It's really just getting it and maintaining it, and making sure if we notice any tears in the fabric, so we get it corrected. So we just want to make sure it's done at a level that we can maintain our warranties and make sure that we're protecting our investment.
Sure.
Chris, on the non-public school fees,
Yes.
what percentage of that is being reimbursed by the federal government and the state government, roughly?
Well, we get ADA, so average daily attendance, so we get LCFF funding, and then we also get a small piece of money through the SELPA, but that's it. I mean, we get some IDEA money, it's all part of the 8602 block grant, but it's the same dollar amount that we get for any other special education student. So, generally speaking, these represent most of our non-mental health placements, like residential placements. For residential, there actually is a board of care reimbursement we get through the SELPA, that they tap into some of the mental health funding. Because as you know, mental health services used to all be through the county, then AB 3632 moved it back to districts.
Right.
And so they've taken some of that state funding and they hold it in reserves, and then districts can say, okay, this is my placement in a residential placement, and then we get reimbursed based on that.
But the feds, aren't they supposed to fund like up to 40%, right? So are we seeing anything close to that?
5, 6, 7, 8%.
Feds don't pay their
5, 6, 7,
bills.
8%?
If that.
If that.
And does it come at the end of the year, like the June 30th deadline, or it comes throughout the year, the reimbursement?
Most of the federal money we get portions of it throughout the year, but at a significant level, we get February of the following year, March of the following year, sometimes May or June. So we don't get it early on.
So does that obligation carry forward, or is it year to year, and if they don't pay us the 40%, like cavalier attitude about it by the feds?
Well, for special education, unlike Title I, for special education, it's under the AB 602 block grant, which all the money flows through the SELPA, the Special Education Local Plan area. They then have what's called a fiscal allocation plan for both the federal and the state portion, which for us is made up of a lot of local property taxes. So the fiscal allocation plan is mostly determined by ADA, that's our county has decided to do it. And so we get apportionments from them, but every year we get a new allocation based on whatever our ADA is. So we know when we decline an ADA, for example, for LCFF purposes, we can use prior ADA for our non-charters, so we're protected for a year, but that doesn't work with the SELPA. So our 8602 money actually ebbs and flows depending on our ADA.
And is it total ADA or is it special ed ADA?
It's total ADA. So again, there's every county SELPA get together and they decide, how are we gonna push this money out? And so it used to be AB 602 included both components. The state came in about 5 years ago and bifurcated. They moved the federal outside of AB 602, so the IDEA money, which is the federal piece of special education, it's all done through ADA in this county, but I've seen other counties where they took pupil counts. Actually, 15% of the IDEA is generated by free and reduced meal counts, for example. This county doesn't take any of that into account. It's primarily done by ADA.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
12.2.2, award of contract to Cars Construction Services for the main entrance canopy at McKinley School project.
So moved. Second?
Any discussion?
So as you know, McKinley, we envisioned a brand new entryway, and what happened a year and a half, 2 years ago, is as we got into design, we realized that because the new canopy would take longer from a structural perspective to get through the Division of State Architect for approval, we separated the two projects and we turned it into phase 1, phase 2. Phase 1 being the entryway, which was a reconfiguration of a parking and a drop-off zone. We actually were able to access a significant amount of grassy real estate and turn it into a much better parking drop-off area. And a new courtyard. So we removed the small canopy that used to be there and re-envisioned the courtyard, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
So
Very,
the second
very
phase,
nice.
right, the second phase is actually to create the canopy that will come out away from the building and create a shady or rainy day space where kids can actually gather underneath the canopy. And so that's what the second phase is for. We know that it's during the school year, but we're taking advantage of getting the project going before the rains, getting the major work done. We'll be working around the school site to, we'll actually have to take that entryway out of service. We'll use the secondary entryway, which is down by the multi. But we're pretty excited about this. We think it's really gonna transform, even more so than the first phase did, that whole feel of the entryway for McKinley School.
What's the environment for contractors right now? Is it very, very, so competitive that it's hard to get people, or?
It is still very competitive, and we're also seeing concrete prices rise, steel prices. You're probably hearing about tariffs and other things in the news. That's having an impact on all of the supplies that we purchase. So the cost of doing business is going to go up, at least in part because of that. And then you also know that they're up in Santa Rosa doing a ton of rebuilding, and that's having an impact on some of the environment we're seeing from a bidding perspective too.
So you're happy with this one?
I'm thrilled that the project's going forward. I wish the price came in a little bit lower, but this is the best price we think that we're gonna get in this environment.
Okay.
And it's bond money, elementary bond.
Have we worked with CAR before?
I have not personally worked with them, however, our construction manager, Dave Ash, has worked with them, and so have our architects, and they both think they're a terrific contractor, so.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
12.3, Educational Services. 12.3.1, Resolution 181909 of the Board of Education of the Petaluma City Elementary School District to fully comply with the requirements of Education Section Codes 60119 through 60252 regarding sufficiency of textbooks or instructional materials for the 2018-19 school year.
So moved.
Second?
So this is for there's two, right? One for the elementary district, one for the joint union high school district. So this is our annual requirement to make sure that we have adequate instructional materials and or textbooks. So, year to year, depending on changes in enrollment, we make sure if we need to buy more, we buy more. If we have consumables, workbooks, things like that we replenish them. And so we work with the principals and work with the sites to make sure that we're sufficient and we have those things. So.
It has to do with access, doesn't it? That every student has access to.
Yeah, so the law states that every student has to have access to either the textbook or the instructional materials that you're using if you're not using a textbook, at home and at school. So it doesn't mean you have to have two sets, a set for school and a set for home. It could be one set that they take with them, but yes, they have to have access access.
And do we do the two-set thing in a lot of classes?
No, no, we typically do the one set. There are some cases with some of our digital curriculum, like CPM, like everyday math, where we have like 15 hard copies in the classroom, just in case.
Okay.
So there are times where a kid forgets his iPad, there's some technology issues. So we do have some hard copies that kids could check out. So that's kind of our fail safe.
But classes that still use a textbook don't have one for classroom, one for home?
No, they have one assigned to themselves
Okay.
to take and bring.
Okay.
And the ELA rollout, does everyone have their materials for the lenders or study sync? That's all in place?
Yeah, we did a lot of, we did some pre-ordering at the end of last fiscal year, and then kind of split the purchase in half. And then, luckily, we did have some improvements in enrollment, to make sure we had enough. It's a cumbersome process, because there are a lot of materials,
Yeah.
and we tried to make a kind of a photo guide by grade, by cover. This is what you should see. You should have this many of them, right? We got all, but it's a cumbersome process. You know, custodians did a great job helping, get things in the right locations. The teachers, we gave them one of the PD days to get going. Most of them, it took them at least 2 days to just get everything in their rooms and account for it and make sure it was all there. And if there were gaps, we did find them. And unlike the everyday math adoption a couple years ago, we did make sure that our specialists, like our special ed teachers, had access to all the curriculum they need. In the past, it was just the classroom teacher that was taken care of, and then we had to go after the fact and fill in the holes for the special ed teachers. So they not only have access to the teachers' editions, but also the student curriculum for all the grades of the kids that they see.
They should.
So they have like super access. So.
What about aides?
So aides don't have their own access, but they work with the materials that they have.
Sounds good.
And then, does someone, you were sort of the gatekeeper, you say yes, we're sufficient, or?
Yep, so we were the principals who work with their teachers,
And then if there's.
they basically, verify and affirm with me that yes, they're good, or no, here's our need. So we, obviously before you see it, we have deadlines in place where they have to report back, because we've got to order it and make sure it's here ASAP. And hopefully before we ever get to this hearing, so we can say, yes, we have it.
So you're presenting it to us saying everything's sufficient? All right, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So staying for secondary, right, 12.3.2, Resolution 1819-10 of the Board of Education of the Petaluma Joint Union High School District to fully comply with the requirements of Ed Code, Section Codes 60119 through 60252 regarding sufficiency of textbooks or instructional materials for the 2018-19 school year.
Second.
Okay.
So for this one, we did receive a complaint yesterday that although we do have sufficient materials, we had issues with some students accessing the materials. So Kenilworth, the dual immersion students that come from all of this program, they take, not only do they take Spanish classes, they take an academic course in the language. So they take world history in Spanish from a teacher. And between this year and last year, students who forgot their password ran into an issue. So we're trying to resolve that right now with the company. So students who didn't remember their password couldn't get in, so they couldn't access the ebook. Once they have the ebook, it's downloaded on the device. They don't need internet. They can have access anywhere. But some of them forgot their passwords, and when they tried to follow the process of resetting, and you've probably done it before, you reset it, it resends you, well, nothing was coming. No communication from the company. I'm trying to resolve with them. We thought maybe the filter was blocking it. So that's the thing that I'm resolving with Phoebe tomorrow morning. So I was out there today, because we just got the complaint yesterday, trying to figure out, okay, where are we failing here? So we've narrowed it down to an issue that the JET review pointed out last year, and that is they recommend that we open up our Gmail to outside contact. So right now, any 8th grade student and below, you can only email internally. You can't email out, and you can't get emails in. So, thus the problem.
Kids are getting a
The
password.
company's trying to resend them
Password.
the password.
But they
and
can't get
They
it.
can't get it.
We have that same issue, are we opening up the emails then?
So David Fischera opened it up today for Kenilworth 8th graders, so we could get them through. We ran a couple test cases, the emails came through, but the company's emails still are not coming through.
Are they in the spam folder?
So, no, we checked that too. So I'm resolving it, I talked to customer service today, and we whitelisted the specific domain, because they're generated automatically from a specific thing. So, tomorrow morning, at the worst case scenario, if this doesn't resolve itself overnight, customer service said, give them a call tomorrow, and they will manually reset the kids who still don't have access, and will send a real email, just like me to you, with their login info. So, should be resolved tomorrow morning.
Good.
But it's been on the radar, and it's been trying to be fixed at different levels. And when this complaint came, it was, okay, what's going on? We were 6 weeks into school, and kids have been sharing, taking pictures, doing stuff that
Making it work.
should be doing. So we do still have sufficient materials.
They just
It's a
can't
matter of the
access them.
Which is a problem.
Should, can we go ahead with it, Gary, or tonight, or do we need to
Yeah, we
resolve?
have to.
Okay.
Thanks, Boo.
Yes, thank you. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 13, discussion, information only. 13.1, business services. 13.1.1, Petaluma City Elementary School District Partial Tax Annual Report 2017-18.
So we met with the parcel tax committees, both of them, elementary and secondary, and these reports were prepared, these annual reports. This is really kind of a first. We'd like to continue this trend. It shows, this kind of talks about the history, it shows the history of what the taxes that are collected, and then attached are the expenditures by major topic. And then we'll be posting this online, so it'll be on our website as well. So these are presented on behalf of the parcel tax oversight committees, both of them. They both approved these annual reports and reviewed them last week. And
Yeah, I thought the report was great. I felt like it was the first time I've seen that report.
It
was
is.
excellent.
It was, yeah, it's very.
They hadn't really done formal reports before. I guess they did some sort of community outreach to the paper. I wasn't really sure, but they never really presented anything to the board. And so, you know, the law basically says that you should be making an annual report publicly. So we thought it would be better to solidify the report in writing, make it public at a board meeting, attach it, and then put it on our website so people have access to it. And you probably noticed it's a cumulative report, so that
Right,
each year will be updated with the latest and greatest information.
And I didn't even realize that it goes towards cost size reduction, some of the monies. Right, good. And is that in perpetuity, is that?
The parcel tax is in perpetuity, yes. Yeah, so there's no need for you to approve it, this is information only, but we will be, like I said, we will be posting on the website if it's not posted there already. And we've
Thanks for
also,
having that information.
yeah, we thought, the parcel tax committee was very excited about being able to do a more formal annual report, both committees.
There's no escalation clause with the parcel tax settlement, or is there? I mean, I'm assuming there.
There is not, and that is part of the conundrum, and the beauty of looking at it in the color pages where you look at the numbers is you can see that the costs are going up, the total revenues are staying relatively flat. In fact, I was pointing out to the parcel tax committee, if you look at the elementary, down below in the revenue section, starting with 11-12, it was 746, I'm rounding now, 748, 749, 755, 754, that's because senior exemptions and stuff, 764, 764, and then we're actually assuming 765 for this year, so it's the elementary. So that's literally how flat it has been over the last several years, and that's a problem when you have costs going up or increasing for various reasons. If you look at the high school or the secondary, it's very similar. It starts at 1148, almost 1149, 1153, by 11 I mean 1.153, 1,153,000.
Yeah.
1,157,000, 1,140,000, 1,153,000. So it actually dropped between 13, 14, 14, 15. 1,169,000, 1,169,070.
So at what point is there an encroachment on the general fund? I mean, if you've got, you either reduce programs in place that are currently being paid for through parcel tax, or you say we're gonna keep those in place, but the expenditure outlies the revenue, so all of a sudden you go, well, we gotta offset that with, an encroachment under the general fund.
Well, we've been using carryover dollars to help minimize that to a certain extent. Again, that's the beauty of looking at this report. You can see the total expenses were less in the first 3 years. I'm looking at the secondary now. In 14, 15, the year before, 2 years before I was here, the total expenses were just under 1.2 million. The revenues were 1.14. So that's where we started spending down the first 3 years, where our expenses were lower than that. And then you can see that we've been spending more down. So what happens is we've been moving some programs, like the music program, K6, to supplemental funding. So parcel tax can't continue to support it.
You'd say with the commitment to the library and stuff like that, is it the same where you
We're
no
still
longer?
funding the library, although we are making a contribution to help support that funding from the supplemental funds.
Like 100,000, it said this year.
For 17, 18.
Yeah.
It's gonna be more than that this year.
But some of your issues here, Chris, are like class size reduction, right? So in a span of 7 years, you've almost doubled like your certificated salaries. You've gone from 200 to almost 400. So, I know, those are huge increases over that period of time. You
Well,
double-
if there's no COLA in what we're collecting, I
Right.
mean, there's
There's
step and column, there's.
At some point, there's a
raises.
break, at some point you.
No, I get that, but I'm saying, that's pretty steep to double within that period of time.
But I
Those
also
numbers.
think, remember, when it comes to certificated or classified salaries, I'd have to look back and see how much did the FTEs change. I don't know that the full-time equivalents were different. And then in addition to that, we have a broad range of teachers, whether at the lower end or whether at the higher end. So if I'm a new teacher, I'm making, say, 46,000. If I'm a more experienced senior teacher, I'm making 80,000, 82, 83,000. So that's almost a $40,000 variance. So 5 teachers at the low end versus 5 teachers at the higher end, that's a $200,000 variance. So it's all about the makeup, and I don't know why they were lower. The parcel tax is relatively new. I don't know if the FTEs changed. So you can't equate it directly to, everybody's making more, because it could be just the makeup of the staff that are being assigned to these.
Is there a mechanism where we can go back out to the public? Still keep this in perpetuity as it's written, but put in some sort of proposal, ask for a referendum from the populace to approve some sort of COLA associated with it, or increase?
So I think that we could get some legal advice on parcel tax council about that. My belief is that a replacement ballot measure could be put on some sort of ballot that would either replace it if it passed or not impact it if it didn't pass. Because that's really
That's
what
the
we
key.
want,
Yeah,
right?
you don't want to.
Well, just a COLA, just whatever the state COLA is.
I think you'd actually have to replace it. You'd have to say this and that, and we'd have to have legal advice on how to craft that. But is it possible? I believe it is possible. I also know that it wasn't easy to pass, so
No, that's
from what I
And
understand.
it was all done by mail, doesn't it? Perpetuity.
This is an item we've been discussing for about 18 months. At some point down the road, we're gonna have to do something. Otherwise, we're gonna have to do, cut services.
What we could do, in our parcel tax, the combined parcel tax is 50 and 75 is relatively low compared to our neighbors to the south, certainly, including Nevada. Nevada has a much more significant parcel tax. So we could.
Is it in perpetuity
No, it's
like
not,
ours
but
is?
and I don't know if it has an inflation factor on it or not, but we could do at least some research and bring back to you here's what neighboring districts have as far as the parcel tax levels go, so you can have an idea, how does ours compare to what others have? We can do that as an information item, if you'd like.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be great. When you get a chance, I mean, you're
Yeah.
really busy, so.
Tomorrow, next day.
No, yeah. When you get a chance.
We trust you.
Yeah, we could put it to her.
So we don't vote.
No, it's just discussion.
And then 13.1.2, Petaluma Union High School District Parcel Tax Annual Report 2017-18. So we'll just read that interest. And thank you to all those citizens who sit on those committees. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a big time commitment. and
Yes.
We need more people to step up and get involved in these committees, so thank you to that group.
They're really a great group, they're very dedicated, and, you know, we still have a couple of the original folks that helped get the parcel tax passed.
Right.
And their
that's-
institutional knowledge has been really helpful for me to understand kind of the history behind it. So,
Yes, thank you for heading that up. 14, future business.
We'll be bringing some information on some grants that we're working on. We'll bring that. Just kind of give you a heads up.
15, signing of papers.
She'll have something.
And then we do not need to adjourn to closed session. Action on items heard in closed session. So I do have 2 discipline matters that I need to read, correct? So these were 2 discipline action items that we heard in closed session, so I need to report out. Case number 6, a case has been presented to the board that the student did commit an expellable act as defined by California Education Code. The recommended motion is for the board to expel and to suspend the site discipline team's recommendation for expulsion in accordance to board policy and to allow continued enrollment in a district-operated school under mandated conditions. The student's suspended expulsion status will be in effect for the fall and spring semesters, the 2018-19 school. Conditions above subject to review with evidence of positive attendance, satisfactory behavior, substance abuse counseling program and screenings, community service, and appropriate academic performance.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You got that, Michelle? Oh, aye, I didn't say that, but aye. Case number 7, a case has been presented to the board that the student did commit an expellable act as defined by the California Education Code. The recommended motion is for the board to expel and to suspend the site discipline team's recommendation for expulsion in accordance to board policy and to allow continued enrollment in a district-operated school under mandated conditions. The student's suspended expulsion status will be in effect for the fall and spring semesters of the 2018-19 school year. Conditions above subject to review with evidence of positive attendance, satisfactory behavior, life skills and/or management counseling program, community service, and appropriate academic performance.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So 4-0. Good. Okay, anything else? Gary, are we good? All right, adjournment.
Good job, Dan.